Welcome to the Seller Roundtable e-commerce coaching and business strategies with Andy Arnott and Amy Wees.
All right, so top 5 things to boost Amazon sales today. We're gonna go ahead and jump right in, and the first one, like I had mentioned, alluded to, is optimize your listing. I'm gonna go through it here, but if you want to reference back to it on the Seller SEO website, we have a blog post to jump to it easily. You can just go tiny.cc/LISTOPT. That's tiny.cc/LISTOPT for short for listing optimization. And so that is where you want to go if you want to kind of see this stuff in long form and really dig into how to get your listing optimized. So this is, like I mentioned, one of the most important steps to boost your Amazon sales. Like today, like after this is done, if you're going to do anything, go and do that if you haven't done it yet. Even if you think you've optimized your listing, go back and look at it again. We'll talk about competitors and stuff a little bit later. But definitely something you want to look at. Now, of course, some of the essentials, you may have heard this before. You want your title to be, contain at least 2 or 3 important phrases, depending on the category and things like that. You have, different amount of space in that title, but you want to try to fill as much as that title as possible with those at least 2 or 3 important phrases. Now, sometimes if you start filling too many phrases in there, it starts to look spammy. So you just got to get really creative. Some of our videos that we do showing our listing lightning tool, we kind of show you how to be creative. You don't have to use our tool, but that's where you can really watch and look at and see how you can kind of craft a listing around those phrases. Another thing, of course, is photos. You need at least 6 photos, and you want their minimum resolution to be 1,000 by 1,000 pixels. Actually, 1,000 pixels on one side, I believe, is what they recommend. Amazon recommends, but I recommend, I would say either side a minimum of 1,000 just to get a really crisp, clear photo. You want to make sure that it's in focus. It's really clean, crisp. Make sure it's not washed out. Sometimes people have white products or things like that, and they put it on a white background and it just looks washed out. You really want to make sure all those elements are in place. Photos are, probably, if not the most important, one of the most important aspects of your listing. If you're not converting or selling real well, that's, of course, one of the first places you want to look at. Now, some other really quick essentials. Bullet points with at least 200 characters. So, when you do a bullet point for Amazon, a lot of people get lazy. I see this. Bullet points are probably the biggest thing that I see, and also description. But bullet points at least 200 characters. We recommend 250, as close to 250 characters as possible. But if you can't get to that, at least 200 characters. Within those characters, once again, you want to make sure you have some of your really important phrases. Don't be afraid to repeat like your top 3 to 5 essential phrases in those bullet points. I know in the past, the old way of doing things was like, you can't repeat keywords, only do keywords, not phrases, things like that. That's gone all out the door. Now that Amazon is more relevancy based, you definitely want to be doing things like that. You want a formatted description with at least 1,000 characters. Formatted means in Amazon, you can use a couple of HTML modifiers. So things like bold and paragraph and line space, line break. So if I'll show you here real quick in this thing. So if you want to do a bold, you could say this is bold, and then you close off that tag. Oops, like this. So if you put this in your Amazon listing, this will actually bold the text between these 2 flags. If you've ever done any type of HTML, this is kind of the basic stuff. So something definitely that you want to take a look at. Now, that's one of the tags you can use. Another tag is the P tag, which is short for paragraph. What that'll do is break up your text into a new paragraph. Same thing with BR, which is a line break. Now, the reason you want to use these is if you don't, what you're going to end up having are listings that are choppy or look like just a big group of text. So you definitely don't want that type of format. You don't want, a big blob of text that people are going to look at and not see as being, clean or organized. Another thing you want to make sure that you do on your listing, keyword and subject matter keywords filled in. So that's, of course, not appearing on the front of the listing. That's on the back end of the listing. For sure, the keywords, keyword field. Once again, people in the past said don't repeat in the keyword field. If you feel like it's really important, we sometimes do report a repeat in the keyword and subject matter fields. It does seem to affect relevancy. So if you're not, indexing for a keyword, and you have it on the front end, or vice versa, you might want to add it to the front end if you have it on the back end, or if you have it on the back end and not on the front end, vice versa. So in other words, add the phrase in spots that you don't have it currently if it's not indexing and you feel like it's important. Some products, some categories have extra fields. So on your Amazon listing, on your dashboard, there's a button that says more. I think it's the last tab of the edit products page. Go and look through that. A lot of people never even look at that tab. But the more information you put in there, the better, because when Amazon does filtering, let me show you some filtering here so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Let's see if I can find something that'll filter for me. Let's see, maybe socks. Not sure if that'll filter, but anyway, this may not filter, but I'm just going to show you this anyway. You can see here on the right side that there's some filters. There's brand filters and fashion filters, but some other products. Let's try Bluetooth headphones. Let's see if we can get any filtering on that. Yeah, okay. So here you can see here, headphone wireless type, Bluetooth, RF, infrared, NFC. So these are all these filters are set in your listing. And an easy way to know if your product can be filtered in that way is to do a search for your product and see what filters show up on the side here. Like in this case, if you're selling Bluetooth headphones, you would want to make sure that you'd include Bluetooth, RF, infrared, or NFC if your product has any of these features. Because what happens is when people go to this page and they go, oh, I only want a Bluetooth one, they click there and then it filters products. And if you don't have this flag set in your listing, then your product will be filtered out. So add as much data as possible to that listing so that you show up in more spots on Amazon search. All right, so that's it for optimize your listing. I could go, I can do, and I have done many hours and sessions on this, but I just kind of want to give you guys kind of 5 action points to work on today. If you want to go deeper into this, like I said, excuse me, go to tiny.cc/list OPT, and that post will give you really step-by-step instructions and really a lot more detailed instructions on how to do this.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for live Q&A and bonus content after the recording at sellerroundtable.com. Sponsored by the ultimate software tool for Amazon sales and growth, sellerseo.com and amazingathome.com.